The Touhou series, huh? Home of the artist and the unwell. As we can see, many artists have flourished in popularity due to this game. Not only because of how much freedom Zun gives to the fandom to create content, but also due to many complex works of art that have consolidated the internet as we know today. Or at least in the 2000s. Even though in the recent weeks, I've been scrolling through my saved videos in search for new topics to bring to my channel, but then something caught my eye. It was a meme posted back in 2022, and what impressed me is... how is Yomu pissing on a wall like this? How these masterpieces were made by only one Chinese person? Well, this might explain due to the fact that the artist is Asian, so it is not that much of a surprise. But jokes aside, these drawings made by a Bitsif artist called Amibaja, something like that, I don't know, stands out from the rest of the Touhou art community because of how much detail he gives to every single painting, sometimes even mixing reality with anime, and absurdity with absurdity. One example of these Renaissance-like artworks is the birth of Yukari, inspired by the birth of Venus by Sandro Botticelli. And as we can see, many of his works are inspired by the late Renaissance and the paintings from the Dutch Golden Age, with the exception of one which is heavily influenced from the Impressionist movement back in the 19th century, which combined vibrant colors with quick brush strokes. This guy is a really skilled artist, not just the way he applies his color scheme to match those from old paintings, but also in how can he manipulate lights and shadows present on his artworks. Some of his drawings show us a technique brought by Italian painters from the 6th and 7th century called chiaroscuro, which in literal translation means light and dark. As the name makes clear, this technique uses the strong contrasts between the light and the darkness in the painting. Some examples of artists that use this method are Leonardo da Vinci and Caravaggio, the last being known for doing the same things these Touhou characters did. Living in Genzokyo, I guess. Another thing that I've noticed is that sometimes his style is so hyper-realistic that some of his paintings get into the uncanny valley, like this image, this and this guy clearly makes some of these weird drawings as a joke, or because he wants to imitate the style that was used in the early modern era. But even with all his intentions, I still prefer his artworks depicting cartoonish characters in a realistic environment. Also, when I was doing research for this video, I've ended up finding many Touhou artworks imitating old paintings or other depictions. Not only from this Chinese guy, but from other Touhou artists, notably by Misawa Zarigani, where they took a step further and painted a picture of Marisa in real life. Seriously, their art is absurdly amazing. I think that by now, Touhou drawings compose 30% of artworks on the internet. Seriously, you can find anything related to the franchise and its characters. For example, there are handmade stained glasses in real life composed of various figures that we see throughout the Touhou games. And by the way, some of these artworks cost around $30 to $40, so it's really cheap, unless you check your product's custom fees. Then it is another story. You can access this artist's stained glass store in the description. Really, check them out. In conclusion, Touhou artists can be one of the most skilled painters in the world, or some of the worst you've ever seen. Thanks for watching.